Hi everybody, Beanmeister22 here. In a previous video I mentioned, hey, I've been buying some of those nanoblock sets and they're kind of cool and I need to make some videos about them. And really, I have had this set for a year maybe? And now it's about time I did a review video on it. In my defense, I might have had this a year, but it was only 8 months ago that I put it together, so I didn't put it together a year ago. So rather than a year's worth of dust on it, there's only 8 months worth of dust on it. So today we're going to look at the Nano block, micro-sized building block. And this is Big Ben from England. Everybody knows Big Ben, right? Last time I was in England, I took some pictures of Big Ben, but I didn't get any video because of the weather, and I didn't want to get my camera wet, and I didn't want to get my camera stolen. So yeah, I got some photos, but not any really good video of Big Ben. But now that I have my own little Big Ben, I don't need to get video of it. I have my own Big Ben. What do you think of that? Yeah. Alright, so like I said, about a year ago, I saw these nano blocks. Wow, I gotta get them, they're great! Or I thought they were. And I really had a heck of a time putting these together. Oh man, these bricks are so teeny, teeny, teeny! I mean, look how big these bricks are next to a standard Lego brick. Yeah, oh my, they are tiny! And I knew they were tiny going into this, but I said, wow, these tiny little bricks make a very nice little detailed set. That is really cool. And back then, Nanoblock was really the only company that I had seen making micro sets. Now there's a lot of micro Chinese sets, and I'm really not brave enough to try those yet. Because as you guys know, if it's a Chinese knockoff or a Chinese clone, if it's a good quality clone or knockoff or a good company making them, the bricks will be fine. But if it's a crummy one, the bricks will be horrible. Could you imagine horrible bricks this size? Because full-size bricks that are horrible with clutching problems or misshaped bricks or things that, won't go together or will go together, fall apart, whatever, clutching problems, right? Full-size bricks with clutching problems are horrible. These tiny, tiny things, if they wouldn't stick, oh man, I'd want to beat this down with a hammer. It'd be like on that YouTube channel, Wrecking Reviews. I just want to squish it with a hammer. And actually, when I started building this, after about half an hour, 45 minutes, I wanted to squish it with a hammer. And I gave up, and I put it in a Ziploc bag, and I said, I'll come back to it when I have time. And a few weeks later, I came back to it. But with an idea, with a plan. That's right, I had a plan. What was this plan, you ask? I used tweezers! Just a simple little tweezers. I guess you could use some teeny little forceps, but just tweezers. Something that you could easily grip the brick and precisely put it exactly where you want it. Which is something my big fat fingers had trouble doing. But with tweezers, something that had taken me 45 minutes of frustration to get 2 levels, in another half an hour, I had the entire thing built. Wow, that's amazing! So I guess my recommendation would be, these need to come with tweezers! Kind of like those erector sets and the things like that come with little screwdrivers and stuff. This really should come with a tool. So let me tell you some of my thoughts about this. Nanoblock, it's a Japanese company. They're designed in Japan, but like all things these days, made in China. It says on the box, patent pending, designed by Kawada in Japan. It's a Japanese company. It's not a Chinese company, but made in China. And then the U.S. distributor here, at least it says on this box, is Ohio Art. Distributed by the Ohio Art Company, Bryan, Ohio, USA. Here's a website, blah, 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 blah. And on the back of the box, this is kind of cute. The biggest little block in the Nanoverse. Hey, that's catchy. Now, this product line has a bunch of famous sites and buildings and things from around the world. In this product line, you have the Chrysler Building, which I built. I believe there's the Empire State Building. Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't have that one. There's a Japanese gate. There's Big Ben. There's a space shuttle. There's a Leaning Tower of Pisa. There's a Statue of Liberty. And there's a whole bunch of other really cool-looking buildings or sites or monuments from Asia. At the same time I picked up Big Ben, I picked up the Chrysler Building, and they had some individual pouch sets. They had like a sheep or a polar bear or something. I bought that. And as soon as I get a chance, I will post those videos. Now, just recently, well, maybe not recently when you're watching this, but recently when I am filming this, recently I picked up 3 more of these Nanoblock sets. And that would be the Eiffel Tower, the Tokyo Tower, and I think the Space Shuttle. And I got them because they were on sale. These sets are expensive. You can find these for maybe $12 or $13, all the way up to $29 for this little set. And you'll say, $29 for a set like this, or even $20 for a set like this? Are you crazy? There's like less than a handful of plastic. Ah, so now you agree with me. Whenever anybody talks about the piece count or the price per brick, that doesn't mean anything because the Big Ben set here has 460 pieces. Divide that by $20 or so, it's not horrible. Divide it by the fact that you probably have about a tablespoon's worth of plastic here in this entire set. Yeah, that's horrible. And although I don't do it in my videos because my micro scale and my micrometer has not worked in a long time, I think it's more accurate to have price per ounce of plastic than brick, because really 460 bricks for about $20, if it's a cool set, yeah, it's not horrible, right? Except, like I said, it's a tablespoon's worth of plastic. Suddenly it's not that good a bargain, is it? So this says ages 8 and up. This is Big Ben from England, set number NBH029. And something very amazing about these sets is it's got English writing on them. You know, where people say it's not Lego, it's just Chinese junk. It's just Chinese junk. Well, this isn't Chinese junk. It's not Japanese junk either. Because really, it is amazing quality. It's great quality. But if you do not use tweezers or have teeny tiny little elf fingers, you're going to hate these and stomp on them and beat them with a hammer. We talked about that, right? From the box. Big Ben, England, a world tour on your desk. Nanoblock is a micro-sized building block system with its smallest piece being a mere 4 by 4 by 5 millimeters. That's small. Challenging and fun for all the construction enthusiasts in the family, Nanoblock lets you build in greater detail than ever before. And yes, these teeny tiny bricks allow for some amazing detail, but it's really small. Now you can nano-size Big Ben. Completed in 1858, the tower stands at the northern end of the Houses of Parliament, is named after the bell of the clock. I'm trying to read really small writing, you know, it's a nano box. At just over 150 years old, the tower is one of the most prominent symbols of London and England, and I agree, because when I went there, I said, I gotta see Big Ben. And the last time I went to Paris, which is about the same time last time I went to London, I went over to Paris. Last time I went to Paris, I said, I gotta see the Eiffel Tower. I've been here a dozen times, I've never seen the Eiffel Tower. You've never seen the Eiffel Tower? No, I've seen it. You know, I've seen pictures of it, I've seen films and videos. And I've seen it at a distance, but no, I've never walked to the bottom and looked up, hey, that's the Eiffel Tower. And no, I've never gone up and down on that elevator, but I mean, I've seen that in enough movies. Isn't that enough? But yeah, I had never actually been to the Eiffel Tower. That's like going to New York City and never having been to the Empire State Building. Well, you know, you drive around in New York City, you take a cab or a tour bus, it's so crowded and horrible. In the summertime, it smells. You know, when I get to New York City, I just want to handle whatever business meetings I have. Maybe Statue of Liberty's cool, love Statue of Liberty, some cool museums. But really, I just want to get into the city and then get out. So yeah, I have not really been to the Empire State Building either. Yeah, sad but true, right? Alright, so what do you think? Do you know anything about these nanoblock sets? Do you think teeny tiny little bricks would be a pain? Well, I didn't think it would be a pain until I tried them, and then I learned it was a pain. Until I got those tweezers, and then it was amazing! I'm telling you, amazing! Great sets, very cool, except they are spendy. They cost a lot. But with that said, because they cost a lot and they are so expensive, no one was buying them, so I see these things marked down quite often at the store. And though I paid full price for the Big Ben and the Chrysler Building and that sheep or polar bear, I think it's a polar bear, but I thought it was a sheep when I bought it. The Tokyo Tower was normally $21.99. It was marked down to $17.57, and then it was another 40 or 50% off. See, that's reasonable. $10, $12 for a set like that, you know, that's reasonable. And that was at a local Kroger store. Now, the Eiffel Tower and the Space Shuttle, I think I got that on Amazon and some markdown thing and paid maybe $15 or $16 each for those. Are teeny tiny sets like this really worth $15? Well, I mean, if you've been to the Eiffel Tower and you want to have a teeny tiny version of it on your desk that you built yourself out of teeny tiny micro bricks, well then, yeah. Or if you're like me who likes to collect things, you say, well, man, I already bought 1 or 2 of these. Now I got to try to get all of them in the series. Yeah, there is that. But these are priced a little on the high side for what you get. A tablespoon of plastic. But on the Tokyo Tower set, that tablespoon of plastic is still 390 pieces. So about $10 for 390 pieces. That's not really a bad set for something so teeny tiny and cool. And before you ask, let me say, of course not! What do you mean, of course not? Are these compatible with Lego? Of course not! Look at the size of these compared to a Lego brick! Yeah, I know. But these, man, if you like to collect teeny tiny things, or like I said, you have elf fingers, you will like these sets. And I guess I can't complain because there's that Eiffel Tower knockoff set from Japan. I don't remember what company makes it, and they want, I don't know, $80 or $100 for it. And I don't remember if Lego made one, but if they did, they'd want a lot of money for it too. And I don't mean in those small sets, like in that architecture set, like the Sydney Opera House, the small Sydney Opera House, not the big one. I don't want it. If Lego's going to make it, I want it to be big! You guys already know that, right? Alright, so these are teeny tiny sets. They're Japanese company, Nano block, made in China. Maybe some might be made in Japan. I haven't seen any made in Japan yet, but, you know, hey, it's not Chinese junk. And in a previous video, someone said, well, you're defending Chinese. No, I'm not saying everything from China is junk. There's a lot of stuff that comes from China that's junk. And actually, in that case, it was more of a response to the Lego fanboy that says, well, I like Lego because everything else is Chinese junk. And it was in reference to a Kobe set, which isn't Chinese junk. It's expensive, Polish, good quality bricks. So if you're a Lego fanboy, Lego only kind of guy, you might still like the Nano block because it isn't Lego. It's not Lego compatible. You will never confuse it from Lego, so you can accept it and be happy with it. It's not a knockoff. They're not copies of Lego. They don't look like Lego. They're teeny tiny things. And here is my plan for the future. I know I have a lot of plans. Do I ever get to them? Sometimes. I want to take these designs and try to convert them into full-size Lego sets using these designs from NanoBlock. Can it be done? Well, maybe. Can it be done by me? Well, maybe. Alright, so what do you think? Have you seen these? Do you want these? Do you already have these? Have you ever heard of these? I didn't hear about them until I heard about them, right? Alright, leave your comments in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching.
Beanmeister 22, the most dangerous man on YouTube.